பெண்கள் எழுச்சி நாள், தமிழீழ பெண்கள் எழுச்சி நாள் அனைத்து உலகிலும் உள்ள அனைத்து பெண்களையும் இணைத்து இன்று நடைபெறுவது எல்லோருக்குமே மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சியையும் உத்வேகத்தையும் தந்திருக்கின்றது என்று சொல்ல வேண்டும். அதன் அடிப்படையில் இன்று உலக வரலாற்று மையத்தில் தொடங்கப்பட்ட இந்த நிகழ்வு இணையத்துக்கூடாக அனைவரும் இணைந்து செயல்படுவதற்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். இந்த வேளையில் முதலாவதாக இலங்கை அரசின் தமிழர்களுக்கு எதிரான போர்க்குற்றம் மற்றும் மனித உரிமை மீறல்கள் தொடர்பில் ஐக்கிய நாடுகள் சபையின் தீர்மானங்களில் பிரித்தானிய அரசின் ஒத்துழைப்பு இருக்க வேண்டும் என தொடர்ச்சியாக குரல் கொடுத்து வருபவர்களில் முக்கியமானவர் இங்கிலாந்து தொழிற்கட்சியின் மிச்சம் மற்றும் மோடன் பகுதிகளுக்கான நாடாளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் Siobhain McDonagh. இங்கிலாந்து நாடாளுமன்றம் இலங்கை தொடர்பான விவாதங்களின் போது உண்மை, பொறுப்பு கூறல் மற்றும் நீதியை உறுதிப்படுத்த இலங்கை அரசாங்கத்தின் மீது சர்வதேச அழுத்தம் தேவை என தொடர்ச்சியாக ஈழத்து தமிழர்களுக்காக ஆதரவு கொடுப்பவர். ஈழத்து தமிழர்களுக்கு நீதியும் நியாயமும் கிடைக்க வேண்டும் என்பதிலும் தமிழர்களின் நியாயமான சமூக அரசியல் அபிலாஷைகள் அங்கீகரிக்கும் வகையிலான மேம்பாட்டு திட்டங்களை இங்கிலாந்திலும் மேம்படுத்திக் கொண்டிருக்கும் எங்களுடைய மதிப்புக்குரிய இங்கிலாந்து தொழிற்கட்சியின் பாராளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் Siobhain McDonagh அவர்களை வரவேற்க எங்களுடைய இளம் தலைமுறை, அடுத்த தலைமுறை, வரலாற்றை காவி செல்ல வேண்டிய தலைமுறை செல்வி பூர்வஜா சிவகுமார் அவர்களை அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கின்றேன்.
நன்றி ரஜிதா ஆண்டி. Good evening everyone. During this pandemic, even through such tough times and unexpected situations, we are successfully commemorating Tamil Eelam's Women's Uprising Day. Our next speaker is Labour MP for Mitcham and Morden, Honourable Siobhain McDonagh. Siobhain is a friend and well-wisher of the Tamil community and a founder member of all party parliamentary groups for Tamils. Siobhain has been relentless in her efforts to bring up Tamil national issues at both British Parliament and outside. She has visited the United Nations in Geneva several times and has been instrumental in establishing other major Tamil human rights organisations within the Tamil community. After the genocidal war, where tens of thousands of Tamils were killed and maimed, Siobhain was the first politician to call for sanctions against Sri Lanka, including the boycott of mainly textile products from Sri Lanka. Siobhain is a formidable fighter to uphold human rights and in particular women's rights and equality. We thought it would be most appropriate to invite Siobhain as our guest speaker, where we celebrate the Tamil women who fought for our human rights and freedom of Tamils. We are very sad to reiterate that the genocidal viewing in our homeland and our mothers, fathers, sisters and brothers are still fighting for liberation. We have no doubt that you will continue to show your support for the Tamils. I am pleased to call upon our MP, Siobhain McDonagh, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Paraja. Good afternoon, everyone. And may I start by thanking you for inviting me to join you here this afternoon. This time last year, none of us would have anticipated that we would be gathering remotely in this way. These are truly extraordinary times. Life has been turned on its head and every family is facing their difficulties. And although the cases of coronavirus in Sri Lanka are far lower than here in the UK, all of us are united in the hope that brighter days are not too far ahead. But whilst the world battles with coronavirus, life still carries on, so I am delighted to join you here to commemorate Tamil Women's Rights Day together. Since the civil war ended in 2009, the Sri Lankan government has been outspoken about its achievements on women's rights. International Women's Day is celebrated with speeches and statements, but it is high time that the words were turned into action. The civil war left thousands of women destitute, fighting the scars of war with little support. The suffering of women and children can so often be at the heart of any conflict. We have all heard of the horror of rape, torture and murder used during the Sri Lankan civil war, stories that leave a stain of injustice on the country through the mass violation of women's rights. 11 long years have since passed with so many challenges, so little progress, so much pain. A decade ago, I pledged to anything in my power to support the Tamil community on your road to reconciliation. Friends, never did I think that the road would stretch so long. There has been virtually no progress. These are not my words, but the words of the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights in a report on the investigation of war crimes. That's why days like today are so important. In marking this week's Tamil Women's Rights Day, we remember that nothing can substitute full and equal rights for all women. The determination and strength of will shown by each of you here and the Tamil community as a whole have no doubt secured much of the progress we have seen in Sri Lanka, as well as the huge international recognition of the injustices that Tamils face. Nevertheless, there is still so much to be done. We must continue to push to establish an international judicial mechanism to investigate and address the allegations of genocide, war crimes and crimes against humanity. We must recognise the Tamil community's right to self-determination in Sri Lanka, and we must call on the Sri Lankan government to allow Tamils to resettle in their homes without delay. And so I finish by saying this. I truly admire the remarkable strength of the Tamil community in my constituency and in our country. The road behind us was hard. The road ahead may still be long. But as a Labour Member of Parliament, I will stand with you every step of the way and say loud and clear that justice must be served so that Sri Lanka will be able to begin building a genuinely sustainable peace. Thank you once again for inviting me to join you today, and I wish you all a successful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your speeches. Were very important to us today. I think that Purvaja will continue to give thanks to her.
Thank you. And I would like to thank MP Siobhain on behalf of all Tamils for taking your time to come and speak to us today, even during this COVID-19 situation and pandemic. So thank you very much.
Thank you.